Good morning to you, Michael Hitchborn, Lepanto Institute, rejoining the program.
Good morning, Joe. Good to hear you.
Yeah, praise God. It's good to have you on again. It's always nice to see you and get the latest information from Lepanto. So I thought I saw a post earlier this week that said you had breaking news on,
Yes, we do.
Was it on CRS?
No, this is on the Catholic Campaign for Human Development.
Okay, so I was incorrect. I reported incorrectly. The CCHD fund, can we have the breaking news here? Did we get an exclusive today?
Yes, absolutely. So earlier in the week, we reported that the Catholic Campaign for Human Development had made 3 grants to organizations in the Diocese of Nashville: Stand Up Nashville, Memphis Interfaith Coalition for Action and Hope, and Nashville Organized for Action and Hope. All 3 organizations are in direct violation of CCHD grant guidelines because they were promoting abortion, contraception, homosexuality, and that kind of stuff. What we found, and I'm giving you an exclusive here because
Praise
we actually
God.
haven't released this report yet, but what we found is another organization in the Diocese of Nashville that is actually a partner with Planned Parenthood.
What?
And we have video of this organization promoting abortion on their social media feeds. This was right there, very easy to find, readily available. CCHD claims that it has this thorough vetting process where they go through, they monitor everything these organizations do. They can't possibly have been involved in the promotion of abortion or contraception while they were going through the grant vetting process. That's a lie, because we found this information going back to 2017, and this organization has been getting grants since at least 2012. So, and it got a grant again just this past year. So this thorough vetting process is an absolute joke.
I'm kidding. I'm beside myself. I think I've asked you the same question probably 4 or 5 times on the number of times that we've had you on a program that I've hosted. Why do we fail? What is so hard about saying, I'm sorry, your organization clearly promotes, supports intrinsic evils that we as Catholics cannot partner with? Why is that just beyond the reach of this vetting process?
Well, there are only 2 possibilities. Either the Catholic Campaign for Human Development is completely and totally incompetent, that they're just not doing what they say they do. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that they actually agree with what this organization is doing and they're willing to turn a blind eye to it.
Now, in the CCHD grant guidelines say that they cannot give grants to organizations that are not in line with church teaching. So could this become a legal issue potentially?
I would think so. I mean, the CCHD is constantly telling people that that they ask for money from. So whenever every November they put out the little envelope and say, please give to the CCHD. They're telling people, and they consistently tell people, that they never, ever, ever grant money to these organizations that are doing these terrible things. That's fraud. That's fraud. It's not true. So they are fraudulently representing the kinds of organizations that they give money to. And we are consistently finding these organizations are attacking Catholic moral teaching. They're attacking it. It's not just that they oppose it or that they are not ideologically linked to it. They actually actively attack Catholic moral teaching.
I seem to remember something about St. Paul saying we shouldn't be unequally yoked, and yet we find ourselves completely and always unequally yoked with these organizations. Let me play devil's advocate for just a moment here. Is there some remote reason why we might rationalize or justify the cooperation with these organizations? Are they doing something that we would find incredibly good as to a reason to rationalize giving them money when they support intrinsic evil?
These organizations are awful. I mean, I look through their social media feeds. I look at their leadership. I look at the things that they post, the things that they are actively doing. These are Saul Alinsky community organizing groups. They were created on the idea that the ends justifies the means, and they were based on the philosophy of creating a class warfare. There's no reason that the CCHD should exist to begin with. It was created to fund political agitprop groups that are rooted in Marxist ideologies of class warfare. These groups are terrible.
So Over the past few years, I mean, you've been reporting on CCHD now for a long time. I mean, it's been a long time coming with Lepanto Institute. Have you noticed, do you have any statistics on how the CCHD campaign performs year after year? Has there been a downturn? Have more Catholics stopped giving to the campaign? Has it been the same? Do you have any idea?
So it's hard to tell because they don't report their actual figures. They simply say, this is our budget, and that budget can come from anywhere. That budget could come from the general fund to make up any shortfalls that are coming from collections. Now, what I can say is that more and more people are writing me saying the collection took place this month, but my pastor didn't promote it, and there was maybe $1 in the collection plate. So I'm getting more and more reports like that, which seems to indicate that there's a big downturn in donations. But in terms of actual numbers, I don't have those because they don't report them.
We're talking with Michael Hitchborn from Lepanto Institute. We'll link to his website as well. Lepanto has been reporting on these issues for quite some time. On one of the, I guess, only voices out there to really try to hold people accountable as to why we would give donor dollars to organizations that support intrinsic evils that we as Catholics are appalled by. But here's a question for you, Michael. Are there alternatives? I mean, Catholics have an obligation, it's a precept of the church, to support the work of the church, to support the church's ministers and our charitable works. Is there any other organization that we could go to, provide money to, that does do corporal works of mercy without all the cooperation with these crazy organizations? Michael Hitchborn.
Absolutely. In fact, if you go to our website, lepantoin.org, at the very top of the front page, we have a menu bar. You look at the menu bar. One of them says charity reports. We've got a list of almost 100 charitable organizations that we have personally vetted. Most of them say not safe, but the ones that do say safe, we have vetted to make sure that they are not promoting anything that's heretical, anything that is, or anything at all that's contrary to Catholic moral teaching, or even the social teachings of the church. So we have thoroughly vetted those organizations. You can go to our website, take a look at the list that we've put together, and that's a great spot for you to find out where you can give your money.
We're going to be linking to that on the Facebook side of our show today. So you can find it facebook.com/Catholic Drive Time. We'll also post it on the GRN online side and the Station of the Cross side as well. Michael Hitchborn, we have a few minutes left in our conversation talking about the Lepanto Institute reporting on the Capital Campaign for Human Development. What do you recommend Catholics, faithful Catholics, do in this case? Do we talk to our pastors? Do we have a conversation with the bishop? Do you find that will be fruitful? Or what do you recommend, Michael Hitchborn?
Well, first of all, it's important to know the facts. I think that people need to read the report so that they can talk to their bishops intelligently. Because just sending a bill and here are the good things that they do. You have to know the facts. So look at our report, either print it out and then send it to your bishop, or just get to know the talking points, figure out the most egregious aspects of what we reported, and then write a letter to your bishop and say, the CCHD is giving to this and this and this and this. Your Excellency, this has been going on for far too long. Please withdraw from the CCHD. Stop taking up its collection. Stop participating in this national collection. I would much rather help support local initiatives, and maybe we can work together to do that. But please stop giving to the national CCHD. Don't take up the collection anymore.
I know there are priests who have tried to reroute some of those funds to local initiatives and gotten in big trouble for doing so too.
Right.
So it's a pretty precarious situation out there. This is one of the points that I'm always bothered by. Whenever we talk about these, divisive hot button issues, it's really not about right and left. It's not about, conservative or Republican. It's about Catholic. It's about the right versus wrong. It's about the faith. And I just don't understand why in your case, Michael, I know that you get shut down quite a bit in trying to share this information with bishops and priests because it seems very political. Is it political for you, Michael? Are you just a closet Republican conservative that's all you really care about? I mean, what is the real deal there?
It's not political at all. It's moral. It goes back to Sirach 12, which says, do no good to your enemies. Give them no alms, lest they use them against you. This is the case with the CCHD. The CCHD is giving funding to organizations that are actively attacking the Catholic Church. They are actively attacking the moral teachings of the Catholic Church. And as long as we are giving them money, we are giving arms to the enemies of the cross of Christ. We have to stop. We have to stop. And that's all I'm trying to get the CCHD to do. They give all sorts of platitudes and they say, well, we've got this vetting process and we have worked and hard. We talk to these organizations and they say that they don't do these terrible things. Well, how blind do you have to be?
Well, maybe they don't have the team of investigators that works 24 hours a day, 365 days a year that you do, Michael, at Lepanto, in order to vet these organizations. Maybe they just have one staff member who has to search a web page. So maybe you just have more resources than USCCB.
Wow, if I've got more resources than the USCCB, I sure wish it came with the pay.
Well, I guess the last question for Michael Hitchborn Lepanto Institute is, how hard is it to discover this information? How long did it take you and whoever works on your team to uncover these connections and what these organizations actually stand for?
We literally found the stuff that I told you about today that we haven't published yet, but the organization that we found partnered with Planned Parenthood, we literally found that information within seconds
really?
Of looking into it.
Wow. All right. Wow. Praise God. We're going to be linking to Lepanto and their website and the alternative organizations that you can give money to instead of the CCHD, because it's very troubling. At any rate, Michael Hitchborn, Lepanto Institute, thank you for being on and giving us the scoop today. Praise be to God.
Thanks so much for having me on, Joe. God bless you.
All right. God love you. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We have more breaking news and stories with EmilyiAlcaraz. And then Celine Tadier from the National Catholic Register will be our guest in the guest segment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Much more to come.